It is remarkable how few mistakes Vegas has made in their first season as a hockey team. Tomas Tatar sat out last night. He's 27 years of age, the number 60 pick in 2009. Uh, I would qualify him, Vadim Shipachev, and Jason Garrison as the few potential mistakes made by um, McPhee in his first year as GM of a first year team. But Shipachev was just sort of throwing money at a guy who didn't work out. Garrison, he seems to have anybody he picked up that wasn't great. It seems like he made out like a bandit, anyways. And Tatar, it may not be for these playoffs, but what is it going forward? When Tatar was drafted, I remember it was 2009. The Wings had been in the final that year, and my thinking was, oh great, the rich get richer. Tatar dropped down to Detroit. I believe he was rated to go potentially late in the first round, early in the second, and he went last in the second round. Well, second last in the second round to Detroit. 2010, 2011, he comes up 9 games, 1 goal. 2012, 2013, 18 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. 2013-14, 73 games, 19 goals, 20 assists, 39 points. His best season offensively, 14-15, 29 goals, 27 assists, 56 points. And the idea being he was on his way. He gets 21 goals, 25 goals. This year he had 20 goals. Only 4 in Vegas after 20 games there. Only 6 points in Vegas. Only 34 points overall. In Vegas, he was a minus 11. His playoff record, 5 games in 2014, no points. 7 games in 2015, 4 points. 2016, 3 points in 5 games. 2018, 2 games. And then he sits out the third. Tatar, when he was drafted, Tatar and Nyquist were seen as the guys who'd replace, by many of us anyways, as fans, we saw, okay, so out goes Datsuk and Zetterberg, and in comes these guys. Tatar was never a Datsuk or Zetterberg. And yet he's paid. He's got a $5.3 million cap hit. He has a no-trade clause that kicks in on July 1st. He has a modified no-trade clause for the 2 seasons after that. But here's the thing. Now, while he signed that contract July 21st of 2017, and at the time he signed it, I remember at the time going, where's Detroit's cap space for anybody now? So Detroit made this trade for cap space, and they got a first, second, and a third from Vegas in the deal. So it really depends on how you see this deal right now. Vegas is up 3 games to none in the first round, and I'm sure there's Vegas fans say, it doesn't matter. But it does. Because if this guy's a healthy scratch, if he's not part of your long-term plans, and you gave up a first, second, and third for him, no matter where that first is, that hurts. And then you add in the second and the third. If it had just been a first for Tatar, I think I would have said, okay, fine. But the first, second, and third, that's a lot. And he's never shown himself to be a playoff performer. But Vegas has James Neal and David Perron, who are both UFAs this summer. Maybe Tatar was brought in by George McPhee as a stopgap in case Neal and Perron decide to walk, one or the other decides to walk, and Tatar can step into that spot, as well as either Cody Glass or Nick Suzuki potentially next year coming in. And there are a lot of options Vegas has. My biggest thing with this trade when it was made, and still, I don't understand it. I don't understand the long-term plan, because George McPhee had a plan right from the start of the season, and it was smart, and every move we can look back on and say, well, that was a good idea. Or in the Shipachev case, you can say, well, it was worth the gamble. I don't see the end game of this one. This one does leave me scratching my head. And while it's not Philip Forsberg for Martin Erat, which is the most infamous trade he ever made, it's not far off for me. Only because Tatar was known as being kind of a little bit overpaid for what he does. Like, I know he's a 20 goal scorer, but he turns invisible at all the wrong times. And out of 4 playoff runs, including the 2 games he's played this year, he's had no goals, and he had no points in the 5 games in 2014 for Detroit. And he never showed himself in Detroit to be a big difference maker. So while he's in the playoffs and he's got to be happy about his shot with Vegas, I don't know if those feelings should be mutually happy. And the other thing that threw me at the deadline was they picked up Tatar and they picked up Reeves. Reeves I could kind of understand. Reeves still kind of leaves me scratching my head a little bit. But Tatar really leaves me scratching my head only because Vegas looked like they were set for their top three lines. I didn't see that adding Tatar necessarily made them more deadly. Just it kind of, to me anyways, it seemed like it would confuse the lines. So I don't know. I don't know if the scratch in game three, I believe he gets scratched again in game four, unless somebody got hurt for Vegas and he goes in to replace him. But if he gets scratched and if he doesn't play for the playoffs, does George McPhee look to trade him again? Does he trade him in, bring him in for 20 games in the regular season, 2 games in the playoffs, and then trade him out? And as a Vegas fan, was it worth the risk? Do you look at this and go, yeah, no, it's fine, it's worth the risk. If it doesn't work out, that's just fine. Um, we're fine with that. It's because to me, I can see both sides of the argument, but it is stunning that this guy gets brought in at the deadline and he's already a healthy scratch in the playoffs. So this is a big game. We need guys with experience. 427 games of experience. We don't need Tatar in the lineup. Perron's coming back, so we're going to pull Tatar out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a Red Wings fan, let me know how you feel about this. Obviously, the first, second, and third could be big. Now, the better they do in the playoffs, the worse that first round draft pick gets. But hey, it's a first, and those are important this time of year. And let me know how you feel about it. I do think this trade is part of the reason Ken Holland's still in Detroit. I think this is part of the reason that he was in a position to save his job. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.